We're breaking everything down week 14. Injuries, all the players on screen right here from McCaffrey and Debo likely to play. Just banged up, still banged up. Off injury reports last week, but we know they're still suffering from these two injuries, the knee and the quad. But they look likely to play, as does Mahomes. We're breaking down all the obvious stuff. We're breaking down some of the more concerning stuff. Will Kenneth Walker play? We got Michael K. CPA first in the building. DJ Meat Missile second in the building. The Fantasy Football Show, it begins right now.
You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasy.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. My name is Smitty, and on the screen right here, we have all kinds of breaking news to break down and figure out who's starting week number 14 and who's not, because we have a lot of players to talk about. Let's start off with this one, just a little bit of this is negative news turned positive. This one I'm going to say here, Ian Rappaport says Mark Ingram is likely out for the season with the knee injury, which opens the door to Alvin Kamara being more consistent and reliable for everybody moving forward. So I know a lot of people want to bench Alvin Kamara. I know a lot of people think Alvin Kamara is garbage at this point. I know Alvin Kamara has pissed off everybody and their mother, but I believe that there's still a potential bounce back reality for Alvin Kamara. So this news right here kind of sheds light on that. I think Alvin Kamara, they get back to running him more on the ground, throwing to him more. Alvin Kamara is somebody that I don't advise anybody benching walking into week 14 because you're absolutely petrified of that scenario and situation. So get ready for more Alvin Kamara after the bye week. I'm sorry. Here are the bye weeks. Week 15, I meant. Sorry, week 15. Mahomes is suffering from a foot injury from week 13. So, yeah, after the bye week. I'm sorry, I misspoke. After the bye week. Here are all the bye weeks just so everybody knows. Falcons, Bears, Packers, Colts, Saints, and Commanders all on a bye week in week number 14. Don't put any of those players in your lineup or you will not get any points. So Alvin Kamara will piss you off one more time. You throw him in your lineup in week 14. After week 14, with the news of Ingram potentially out for the season, I think it's bounce back time. So get ready to put him in your lineup once he returns. Mahomes has a bruised foot coming out of week 13, but there's no concern for him missing any action. Michael Carter is no longer on the injury report, which makes people wonder about Bam Knight. What's going to happen with Bam Knight? This report here, so some confusing reports. A lot of people talking about Michael Carter returning to his former role, but is he? Because Jets coach Robert Saleh said Bam Knight isn't going anywhere. Now, what's that mean? Is that just coach speak saying, hey, I love Bam Knight? First of all, Ron Navy dropping a $50 hauler. Ron Navy.
Mashed potatoes!
Ron Navy dropping a 50 wad right on screen. Ron says, for Smitty's family, chicken soup fund. Help get over being sick. God bless Smitty to the moon. Thank you, Ron Navy. We do have the flu ravaging outside these doors. Your boy Smitty's been hard at work taking care of the little ones today. I'm exhausted. This may not be a 3-hour show tonight, just so you know. But thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. Salah saying Bam Knight's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. What's that mean? Is that just coach speak? Hey, good job, slap on the rear end, and we're going to go back to Michael Carter? Or does this mean they're going to stay with one of the most elusive, based off some PFF ratings, one of the most elusive running backs over the last couple of weeks? He's been elusive. He's been very good. He stepped in, and I was hoping to use him in a couple scenarios this week. But now it looks like there's a little bit of questions around his availability from a full-time perspective. So I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. If we're in any dilemmas today, it's going to be tough to decide on Zonovan Knight or, let's say, a player that also has question marks but that has as much upside. I don't know. We're going to have to take those case by case. But Zonovan Knight is certainly somebody that I absolutely love going forward if he can get to work. We just don't know if he's going to get to work. So it's case by case. Travis Homer might end up starting week number 14. I hope he doesn't, because we want Kenneth Walker out there, Skywalker. But Walker's suffering from a foot injury. It's an ankle jam, which is being more so called a foot injury than anything. So basically, I'm imagining that the soreness is more on this part of the, so if he jammed his ankle right there, he's probably got some soreness on the foot part versus the ankle part of that joint. I don't know. No one knows. It seems to be a rare type of ankle jam that you can't really constitute as a sprain. It's good that it's not a high ankle sprain. The question is, and I've been talking about this all week, is that if there's swelling, and I hadn't heard anything, and then we're starting to hear inflammation and swelling, so it's kind of ironic. But I was talking about this all week, that if I imagine, because there's soreness inside that joint, if anybody's ever sprained their ankle or jammed their ankle in between the joint there's a lot of swelling. Like your body tries to protect it. It gives you a cast, a self-made cast based on swelling that kind of protects the body. And if you play on it and it refills with swelling, even if you drain it, even if you try and drain it, it will still just replenish that swelling to protect it. So it's more of a thing, like even if you wanted to play, if it was a pain tolerance thing, hopefully the swelling doesn't continue to put him in a position where it's immobile. So I don't really know what's going on with Kenneth Walker. No one really has any information. They're not really telling us anything. They're tight-lipped about it. But the fact that Walker didn't play or practice this week and hasn't practiced this week as of this point, it's looking very grim. I would say 70%, I know no one wants to hear this, but probably 70% likelihood at this moment, and tomorrow could be 80%, and then the next day could be 95%. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen quick. That scale is gonna go from 70 to 80 to 95 to 100 very, very fast. Or it could go the other direction. If he practices, then it goes boom, 20% chance that he misses. You know what I mean? So as of this moment, this is my guesswork at work. I would say 70%. I would say 70%, 70 to 75% chance he sits out week number 14, which is brutal because then he returns, I believe, to face the 49ers in week 15, which is brutal. So not looking like a good 2 weeks for Kenneth Walker. I'd almost rather him sit that week, get fully healthy, come back and explode. But Travis Homer, who was out last week with a knee injury and an illness, is practicing today. He's most likely the most healthy, ready to roll running back. So if you need a player you need to pick someone off waivers to cover for Walker, this is your guy if he's still out there. There's some ambiguity as to who would be the starter, so it's possible he is out on waivers because someone picked up DJ Dallas thinking he would be the backup. Nobody seems to really fully feel confident in who the backup's going to be, but based on everything we're hearing, Travis Homer is probably the most healthy running back, and the illness kept him out also last week, so maybe he wasn't as hurt, and a lot of it had to do with the illness and the knee injury combined, but maybe his knee's not as bad as we think. And he practiced, so I'm assuming Travis Homer plays week number 14. I'll keep you posted on Kenneth Walker. Hopefully he can return. We just don't know yet. Mike Williams was limited in Wednesday's practice. Look, until we hear Mike Williams is a full go, I'm not expecting anything out of him. So I don't think you should be either. Jalen Waddle leg was limited Wednesday. This is being called like a bone, like leg bruise, I guess, issue, and it pulled him out of the game, and then he returned to the game, but he was pretty worthless all game. He had like one catch, and Waddle was a total bust in week number 13. I don't know what to make of this. We got to monitor it. If he's out there, you got to play him. Jalen Waddle is capable of being a top 8 wide receiver at any given moment. And, it's just a shame that we're getting hit with injuries again. This is a big wave of injuries walking right into one of the most crucial weeks as people try and clinch or earn their playoff spot. Hopefully a lot of you that have some of these injuries are already in the playoffs, and at most it's costing you a higher seed or whatever. So Waddle, keep an eye on Waddle. For now, I assume he plays. But yeah, so keep an eye on that. Okay. Deonta Foreman did not practice Wednesday. This is something to keep an eye on. I do think Foreman is a good play if you're in a desperate situation. He's kind of up and down, obviously. But this is somebody that we're going to have to monitor as well. We have no real concrete information on this one. This one right here, Lamar Jackson, knee, did not practice on Wednesday. We are almost 100% certain he's not playing this week, and we're probably at best 50% certain that he has a chance to play next week. So Huntley's probably starting, if I had to guess, 2 to 3 weeks, not 1 to 3 weeks. We're hearing 1 to 3 weeks. You never know. I don't know why they would rush him back onto the field. It depends how Huntley does. If Huntley bombs, they probably would be more apt to rush him back than not. If Huntley does very well, I think they'll be very careful with Lamar. Lamar would be smart to be careful with his own body because he's currently doesn't have that long-term contract that he neglected to get done and inked, and he neglected to get an agent involved because him and his mom wanted to represent him. He'd be smart to wait this out, make sure his knee's completely healthy. I know it would also be, it's kind of a catch-22 for him because if Huntley goes out and balls out, then it puts a little more question and doubt in the Ravens' mind. But I don't think he cares because I think he's okay leaving. And ultimately, he's going to get a deal. Even if he sat out the remainder of the year and Huntley balled out, he's going to get a big monster contract. I don't know if it'll be as big as he would have got had he tried to ink something before the season started off the back of Deshaun Watson's deal. Instead of trying to chase Deshaun Watson's deal exactly, he wanted all 100% guaranteed money. I believe that's what we're hearing out of principle. Like that's what it feels like. And I'm kind of trying to draw a conclusion from a lot of the things we've heard, but it sounds like he wanted, from all the reports that I've read and heard, that he wanted to mirror the contract of Deshaun Watson. And I don't think teams or owners or anybody wants to go down the road of 100% guaranteed deals of that magnitude. It's just a mistake. It was a bad contract. Had Deshaun Watson worked out, and that's to be announced, right? That's to be determined if whether Deshaun Watson is going to earn the contract he got. At this moment, coming out of week number 13, I think the answer is no, he didn't. I think the answer is it's one of the worst contracts in the history of the NFL. As of this moment, maybe Deshaun Watson proves us wrong. Maybe. And if he does, then maybe there's some validity there that you can go ahead and hand out these contracts now. They're worth it for franchise quarterbacks. But I think waiting is only going to do Lamar a disservice, because now he walks in to 2023, yet another year of disappointment. This will be 3 years in a row that he's either disappointed or got injured, two of which he's gotten injured. The 2020 season, he was an absolute bust the first 7 weeks of the year. I think 7 or 8 weeks of the year. And so I don't know if he's going to get more money than he would have. Now the salary cap goes up, so maybe that offsets whatever dip he would have had by coming out of this season with a disappointing year. But Lamar walked into 2022 looking like a developing, evolving, accurate passer. Like, we're thinking this guy's getting better. He's actually going to become an absolute, gem on all levels, all facets of the game. He's walking out. I mean, raise your hand if you agree or disagree, or thumb up if you agree, thumb down if you disagree. Don't we all feel like Lamar took a step backwards this season in a way? Don't we all feel like maybe Lamar was walking into 2022 about to turn our thinking around? This guy could be a really good passer. That's what we all were kind of thinking, right? He was gonna change our minds. This is gonna be not just a running quarterback. He's gonna be a really good passer. And now I feel like walking out of 2022, he's still got some time left to change people's minds. But walking out of 2022, I think I have a feeling that he is more one-dimensional than I thought he was going to be walking into 2022. I thought he was going to grow. And I feel like he took a step back. Huntley's an amazing start in the coming weeks. I think he starts 2 to 3 games, not 1 to 3. You never know. That's just my guess at this point. We don't have a whole lot of information. This is guesswork by anybody, really, at this stage in the game. Tua is looking like he's probably going to be fine. There was word he could have went back into the game. Now, that doesn't mean he automatically plays, because there's swelling and different things that can happen once you exit the game and then the ankle starts to try and heal. I thought he was an absolute monster to start. Yeah, I mean, look, to start the year, I had some negative. He was on my bold predictions as a disappointment. And I admit the beginning of the season made me feel like I was going to get that one wrong about Lamar, but he ended up following the same track he did the 2 years prior. I hate to say it, but I feel vindicated on the prediction, because he's been an absolute bust the last couple of weeks, and now he's injured. And people could say injury's not a bust, Smitty. To some degree, you can say that on a one-off injury, maybe one time. But when this is now the second season in a row, you start to couple injury with that disappointing feeling and evaluation. And at this point, it's like this guy runs 150 to 190 times a season, and that's going to lead to injury. He should have got a contract inked, a long-term deal inked. Again, I think he still gets it. Who knows if it's the same valuation, but because of the salary cap increase, it really could wash, but we'll find out. Tua should play, okay? Unless there's a setback, Tua should play. Kenneth Walker did not practice. I already went over that. Hopefully we have better news on that. Jacobs was limited in Wednesday's practice, but this is the Thursday night game. I have a little concern about Jacobs not shaking this calf injury, and now he's got a quad injury, but he still does it. He still goes out and delivers. I wish he had the full week it's a short week now, so I hope it doesn't catch up with him. You know what I mean? It feels like he's been staying out in front barely on the calf injury, or getting to even in terms of rest, enough rest to go out there and do it again with the injury, but not enough time to heal it So part of me is a little concerned as he starts to take a beating on this injured leg. But, if you own him, you start him. I don't care if it's a Thursday game. He's on fire. He's sizzling hot. Throw Jacobs into your lineup. You don't even hesitate on it, but let's monitor it. We're still worried about him. Doesn't mean we're not worried about him just because he's a must start. DeAndre Swift ankle was limited in practice, but look, he was off the injury report last week. He wasn't even on it. This is being called a maintenance day, which is completely fine by everybody in this room. Can we get a maintenance days to the moon? Maintenance days to the moon for DeAndre Swift. Let's give him a maintenance day whenever he wants it. He, for the first time since week 1, he out-snapped and out-carried Jamal Williams. It feels like DeAndre Swift. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but it feels like DeAndre Swift could be back in the saddle. Hopefully he stays healthy. But he looked fantastic, totaling over 100 yards. Again, out-snapping and out-carrying Jamal Williams. Jamal is still an unbelievable play. Jamal Williams is still a touchdown almost guarantee. The way he's scoring touchdowns this year, league leader. So it's not like you put Jamal on the bench and you put DeAndre Swift in. If you own both these guys, you're kind of in a situation where you're playing both of them. And you're not really putting yourself in a vulnerable spot where you're going to get hit by one and hopefully land the other. You literally could do well. Siklan says, bro, you don't rank based on rank anymore. Yeah. This is where it's like you put them in. I mean, maybe you have a dilemma where you can't start both Detroit running backs and you truly have to decide between like ETN and Jamal. Then I get it. I understand. But it's almost safest to have these two Detroit players in to make sure you're getting all the rushing touchdowns. They want to run the ball down your throat. They want to score touchdowns on the ground. They're on the 5-yard line. They might throw to St. Brown, who scored last week. St. Brown getting in the end zone. St. Brown looked fantastic last week. St. Brown's a monster. St. Brown, you know what St. Brown is? He's a moon man.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
You know what I noticed?
Space Monsters.
I noticed this entire right side, this quad over here, led by Hurts, A.J. Brown, Lamb, and St. Brown's absolutely sizzling hot on fire. We've got this whole right side right by this shuttle, or I'm sorry, this rocket is heating up this entire right side of the screen. I hate to move it because we don't want it to cool them off, but part of me wants to move. Maybe we move Burrow closer to the rocket. Let's move him over a few inches. Let's move Pollard over a few inches closer to this rocket so that he heats up because, this is this crew is still doing it. Yeah, we may have lost Walker for now. We lost Javonte Williams. We lost Breece Hall. Look, we've been getting hit. Now ETN's slumping a little bit, but we have one door closed, another door opens. It's still a very impressive list. By no means am I disappointed in the Moon Men. I'm not disappointed in them at all. They've just been balling out. They rotate. One door closes, another opens. They've been fantastic. But Swift, get him in your lineup. If you have Swift, you have to start him. Deebo Samuel limited Wednesday's practice, but he's been struggling all year long. From this or that or the other, he still plays. He's been struggling with his quad for a couple weeks now, and he's been playing. I don't think he's any worse for the wear coming out of the game. It's just a maintenance thing for him, so don't worry about him. Same thing with McCaffrey. He was not on the injury report last week, but yet he's limited with the knee again. So it's like, what good is an injury report anymore? The injury report no longer tells us what we need to know anymore. We have to try and read between the lines. And, that's fine. We're getting used to it. But it used to mean something. Now it's like you get taken off the injury report when you still are struggling with an injury. McCaffrey still has a knee irritation of some kind. Why is he limited again because of it? Why is he not on the injury report? So, that part kind of frustrates me, but But I do feel like McCaffrey is, like Debo, still in a maintenance mode. You still worry about him every time he gets a touch, because it feels like he's still shaking that label of being made of glass loose. And who knows where we rank McCaffrey walking into 2023, because I'll admit I didn't have any thoughts about McCaffrey dominating in 2023 at the beginning of this year. He was in Carolina, which some will say is a better situation than San Francisco, although I think with Brock Purdy under center, I truly believe this could be a good thing for CMC, hopefully. He still has that threat of getting injured. This is San Francisco, where every running back seems to get banged up. Every quarterback goes down. Like there's injury, something's in the water. We don't know what it is, but something's in the water. I don't care what anybody says. I get it. I don't have any proof whatsoever to really go off other than injury after injury after injury. Is it scheme? Is it the aggressiveness of the scheme? We don't really know. No one has an answer. I admit I don't know the answer to it, but all I know is everybody gets hurt in San Francisco, and it's absolutely crazy. And it's too many injuries. The whole running back room last year, there's 7 running backs. All of them were injured to the point where Deebo Samuel, a wide receiver, had to line up under center, not at wide back, under center as a running back for several games at the end of the year. It's just like, I don't know. I hope that McCaffrey stays healthy. I hope he gets, we complain about him getting hurt, right? Overworked, and then we complain about him not getting enough carries. Make up your mind, Smitty, I think is what some people could tell me, and I would agree with him. I feel like I'm wishy-washy on what I want when it comes to Kyle, because I'm afraid whatever Kyle does is going to injure him or not have him produce. I feel like Kyle doesn't know how to dance in the middle. Kyle needs to dance in the middle. Give him enough work. Give him all the goal line and red zone work. And then maybe if you need to spell him, do it from 20 to 20. That I'm okay with. But don't take McCaffrey out inside the 20. Mixon, practice in full. That is fantastic news for Mixon owners. However, it puts an end to the Samaje Perine experiment, which has been phenomenal. And if you own both of them, you're good to go. Yeah, I would say Joe Mixon, fire him up. Don't even hesitate unless he has some sort of setback or some kind of news that isn't looking, good in the next coming days. Everything's looking positive. Trevor Lawrence, toe, did not practice Wednesday. Everything is indicating and pointing toward him playing. And then I saw this one. Kenny Golladay, illness, full participant in practice today. I didn't even know he was in the league. Don't fire him up. But when I saw this, I said, he's still in the league? Good for him. Good for him. Kenny, full participant in practice. I don't know if we'll ever see him. But Kenny Golladay. We remember. Everybody here remembers. I remember. Do you remember? I remember ranking him inside my top 8 to 10 wide receivers at one point. I remember. I'm man enough to admit it, that Kenny Golladay was inside my top 8 to 10 wide receivers at one point in fantasy football rankings, probably Dynasty and redraft. I'm man enough. I've got enough hair on my chest, and I'm man enough to admit that happened. That happened. Unbelievable. Kenny Golladay. What a waste of talent. I hope he drops, loads all over the field in week 14 just so we can all get a good chuckle out of it. But what a waste, man. That guy felt like, who did he feel like he was going to be? He felt like he was going to become, I don't know, like a version of what CeeDee Lamb, and maybe a slower maybe like a Larry Fitzgerald meets CeeDee Lamb. That's what Golladay felt like at one point. Don't act like you didn't think it right now. If you say that you didn't believe at one point Golladay had that kind of upside, you're lying. You're lying. But, anyway, let's get to the voicemails. For those that don't know, I have a voicemail package on Instagram. If you click the subscribe button on my Instagram homepage, or on my profile. So go to Instagram, thefantasyfootballshow.com. There's a subscribe button on my profile. If you do that, it gets you into an exclusive group where you can ask questions on the daily, if you would like, on the daily. And so let's get to those questions here. Let me pull it up here. Where's my group? Where's my group? Where are you at? I feel like it's not showing up. Where'd it go? Hold on, I gotta close Instagram. We're gonna play these, and then we're gonna go to voicemails, and then we're gonna go to this, the remainder of the super chats. I see those out there. Don't worry. Let me just hit these voicemails real quick. Then we'll get to the super chats. Then we'll do the phone calls. All right, voicemail number 1 from my boy Guilty.
Flipped Paris Campbell, Nico Collins for Leonard Fournette, and then flipped Fournette and Samaje Perine for Alvin Kamara. How do you feel about that trade?
Look, I just said at the top, I think Kamara is going to be given up on, and I think Mark Ingram being out for the year, coming out of the bye this week, the Saints are on a bye. Coming out of the bye week, I think Kamara bounces back. And I didn't want any of you to draft Kamara. I was so against it. But I'm okay with acquiring and going and attacking players that are on the low. So it's a big difference to like Kamara at buy low value. So if you're able to trade right now, and not a lot of people are, probably 20% or 30% of leagues still trade, it's not a bad move with Mark Ingram out for the year. But should you be buying him at running back 1 value? No, then you're not listening to what I'm saying. Like, Kamara is not a running back 1 right now, and no one's going to treat him that way. And you can go out and get him for pennies on the dollar like this man just did. Listen to his trade.
Flipped Paris Campbell, Nico Collins for Leonard Fournette, and then flipped Fournette and Samaje Perine for Alvin Kamara. How do you feel about that? I
mean, that is a low risk. That's as low risk of Kamara buy as you can find. So to the moon.
To the moon.
And even furthermore.
Got him.
So, nice job. Guilty.
I want to call in, Smitty, because I have an actual question. It's the last week. It's my trade deadline in my league, so I wanted to come to you and kind of see if there's any moves, give you my full roster, and just kind of walk through it with you. It'll be the last moves I make, so I got to come to the OG himself, you know what I mean? And
all right.
Appreciate you for everything you do, man. You do a lot.
All right, Guilty.
But all right, man. To the moon, brother. Thank you.
Okay, the phone lines will be open soon. Pyram.
What up, Smitty? Should I drop Deshaun Watson for Mike White or Tyler Huntley?
I like both of them. I'd probably go Huntley if I had to pick just 1 week. I love Mike White though, but if you're doing this more long term, maybe Huntley plays 1 game and they take him out.
And how do you feel about Mike White's playoff schedule?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about Mike White going forward. I mean, a lot of people speak on it that they like his playoff schedule. You hear it all the time. I mean, he's got a good opportunity to score a lot of points. And what's he done? 400 yards is his first start, and then he got hurt and all that. We know how that went the remainder of the season when we thought he was going to get an opportunity and the Jets blew it. And then this year, he's had two starts this year, 300 plus yards in both starts. I'm excited about him. And I don't mind starting him this week at all. Those are the YouTube exclusive questions. I appreciate you guys dropping those. I'm going to put an answer in here. Now let me go to the YouTube OG exclusive group here. This question's from the Bruce.
Hey, Smitty, if Tyler Huntley plays good for the Ravens, could you see the Ravens just tagging Lamar and trading him, or no?
Yeah, I could see that. I think a tag and trade would be the most ideal move for the Ravens because then they get something out of it, right? Just like Adams or whatever. So a tag and trade would make the most sense. Literally make the most sense. I think that if Tyler Huntley was to be retained as the starter, or they would hold him as the starter and get rid of Lamar, he'd have to ball out. And I think he's capable of that. But he would literally have to have an amazing, amazing run, which I think is totally possible. So let's root for it, because you know what? Let's think about it from this perspective, okay? You've got one quarterback right now. I don't think they're trading Tyler Huntley. They like the backup capability. If he doesn't ball out, then Lamar goes back in the lineup. Then Huntley stays a reserve and backup. I don't think anybody trades for him. But if Huntley balls out so well that he becomes the future of the Ravens, and a lot of people will laugh at that because they don't like Tyler Huntley like some of us do, or Mike White for that matter. If he balls out to the point where he makes this team say, you know what, we're going to go with the cheaper quarterback, we're going with Tyler Huntley, we're going to get something for Lamar, we're going to improve this team by doing a trade, a sign and trade, or a tag and trade, then guess what? We get 2 starting quarterbacks in fantasy football, and that's what I'm rooting for. I want Lamar playing elsewhere so Tyler Huntley can start and Lamar can start, and we have 2 potentially elite quarterback. I know a lot of people are going to run from Lamar and never want to draft him again, but at least we'd have 2 potential elite quarterbacks in play.
Hey, Smitty, as of today, who would you rather start this week in the flex in a half PPR league? Hollywood Brown or Rashad White?
For right now, this week, Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown, because of the Niner matchup, is going to scare me away from Rashad White when all things are close enough like that. Like, would I put Rashad White on the bench for some scrub? No, but I think Hollywood Brown's going to earn my start this week. Going forward, it's going to be a week by week thing. We gotta see how the Bucs start rotating the 2 backs in this contest coming up here against the Niners, and then. You know.
Hey, Smitty, out of these 3 running backs, which one would you rather stash on your bench for the rest of the year for your playoffs? Jordan Mason, Jalen Warren, or Michael Carter?
Jordan Mason by far. He's one injury away from becoming, a high-end running back too. Let's just put it that way. Let's not get overzealous, and we'll call it that. This is voicemail group number, let's see here. This is from Justin.
How's this, Smitty? Drop George Pickens or Treylon Burks to pick up James Cook?
Probably Burks because he's hurt. And this isn't the first time he's got banged up, so I'll drop him.
Hey, Smitty. Hope you're feeling okay.
Robert.
Stash J.K. Dobbins or James Cook for the playoff run, and for this week,
James Cook.
Baltimore or Eagles D.
Eagles.
Thanks, Smitty.
Eagles D for me. They're a set it and forget it, unless the matchup is just glorious, and the Eagles matchup is not. And the Eagles matchup is good. It's good. The Giants are not a bad matchup. I do like the Ravens. They're not a bad option. A lot of people are tossing them out. Ron Navy's going to get upset. But they're a decent play, but the Eagles are playing the Giants. It's not like the Eagles are facing, a really, really tough to fathom points being scored from a defensive perspective type of matchup. So Eagles are set it and forget it unless you're facing a crazy scenario, which this is not. And as for the running backs, what were the 2 running backs? I already forget.
Stash J.K. Dobbins or James Cook.
James Cook he's been getting targets. He's been getting, I think, over 5 or 6 targets per game over the last 2 games. He's getting the receptions. He's getting the targets. That's what we care about. Targets are way more valuable than anything. It shows the involvement of the player. And the fact that J.K. Dobbins has been injured, coming back from that horrible ACL tear, hasn't been able to get right, and he's in a running back by committee, where the quarterback, even if it's Huntley, is the best running back on the team, and it's a running back by committee. It's a trap. It's fool's gold. You never know they rotate who's gonna be. It's every week. You don't know who it's gonna be, and I don't think J.K. coming back is gonna change that for me. And Cook's looking good. His value's going upward. I like Cook.
Hey, Smitty, would you go with the Buccaneers defense this week, or would you go with the Raiders? I actually heard that Baker Mayfield on a short week actually might play.
So Raiders. Let me pull up the schedule here, and let me pull up some stats too while I'm looking at this. But the Bucks. I don't know that the Bucks is a great play. They're not a horrible play. They are facing a rookie quarterback, and Tom Brady has not lost to a rookie quarterback, I think, ever. So there's some potential for Brock Purdy to throw some interceptions or look good and impress everybody. We don't know which way it's going to go. I probably stay away from that game. What I'm feeling, no matter what the Rams do, I know you're excited about. I could kind of hear in your voice you were excited about the prospect of Baker going in there to get INTs. But no matter who's the starting quarterback for the Rams, they're going to throw interceptions and not move the football down the field. So the Raiders are the call to make. I wouldn't be banking on the Niners not controlling the clock, and give me the Raiders all day long, bro. Michael,
Smitty, would you go Gabe Davis this week or Hollywood Brown?
I would still go Gabe Davis. I know everybody's going to say Smitty just does not let go of Gabe Davis, but I would go Gabe Davis. The guy takes some weeks off and then explodes. I feel like that explosion's on the horizon, whether it's next week, I don't know, whether I'm doing this 2 more weeks and then he has this big game. But I know the big game's coming. I like Hollywood a lot, but it's hard to trust both Kyler and the situation because now we're going to see Hollywood and Hopkins together trying to fend for number 1 targets. I just feel like Gabe Davis with Josh Allen, the opportunities that he gets every week, I'm going to roll with Gabe. I still think Gabe Davis is a great play.
Hey, Smitty, just following up, would you stash Mason over Cook?
I'd rather have Mason over Cook if your objective is long-term, you're hoping for some sort of injury, and then having some gold out of it. If you need now production, it would be Cook because he's getting those 5 and 6 targets per game right now. So Mason long term, Dalvin Cook I like Dalvin Cook. Mason long term, James Cook, Dalvin Cook's brother, I like more for the now. And that's gonna do it for the voicemail segment. Appreciate you. And now we're gonna answer these super chats that have been sitting here. And again, Ron Navy, thank you for dropping this initial $49.99 hauler. Ron Navy to the moon. Absolute to the monster. Moon. Thomas with the next super chat. Thomas, appreciate you. Let me get rid of this.
To the moon.
Screen, sorry. Thomas, appreciate you. Moonshot for you, first of all. Thank you. And then Thomas, let me read your question here. Appreciate you battling through it all and still streaming. Quick question, Judy or Keenan in the flex this week? Keenan. Judy's done nothing to prove anything to me at this point. And not to mention, I don't trust Denver. I don't trust Hackett. I don't trust Russell Wilson. I don't trust Judy. I don't trust anything. There's so many red flags that I'm running away, sprinting away from that situation. And I kind of like, I kind of feel like I Keenan Allen's on the up, the up and up. I'm ready for Keenan Allen to start producing. So give me Keenan Allen. Sutton or Mike Williams, that one's more questionable. I mean, assuming Sutton's good to go, you probably go Sutton unless Mike Williams is full go, which it doesn't look like we're going to have that kind of indication. So you got to go Sutton if he's playing. Yeah, and Thomas, I'm not sick yet. I'm taking care of those around me that are sick, but I'm not sick yet. But I'm sure I will be because the entire household is now got the flu. They bring her. I sit here in this little box, and I go out to get food. I go out to maybe get some drinks or groceries or something and run, exercise. That's it. I come back. I'm not exposed to all these. They bring the Black Plague home all the time and just set it right in front of me, and they expect me not. I'm going to get sick. I know I'm going to get sick, but right now I'm not. I'm trying to take care of those that are. Underdog change Walker status from out to questionable. Yeah, let's hope Walker plays. We don't know if he will. Stay tuned. Pick 3, Knight, Zay Jones, Rashad White, or Judy. I'm going to go Knight even with Carter back because, that's what we're dealing with here. I'm probably putting, let me just make it simple. I'm putting Judy on the bench unless Zay Jones is not a go. He's still injured, questionable. Actually, put Judy in, put Zay Jones out until we hear some very positive news. As of right now, he's still banged up and injured, and we don't have any. As soon as we hear he's like off the injury report or he's full go, then maybe we swap it out. But monitor Judy as well. Those aren't the greatest options, Chris, but I realize everybody's dealing with injuries and bye weeks. I mean, look at this slate of buys right here. This slate of buys are awful. It's hard to even remember who's on a buy. Sometimes someone says, hey, should I go this guy and this guy? And I'm like, yeah, he's one of the bye weeks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bye weeks. Or 6? Or is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bye weeks. 6 bye weeks. Unbelievable. Bye week hell. Pick 2, Swift, Walker, ETN, Jeff Wilson. At this point, it's very easy, Swift and ETN. Now, maybe Walker changes our mind to go ETN, but if he's kind of hampered at all, I'd probably still play ETN. So I don't think anything changes even with news. I mean, ETN's a good enough play. Smitty, I just seen your Mayo Challenge week 1, LOL, says Sick Nasty. Yeah, everyone's been telling me that lately. That must be getting suggested or something, because everyone's saying they've seen my Mayo Challenge, and I'm like, man, I don't even remember when I did that. It seems like a long time ago. Apparently it was week 1. Let's see here. DJ, let me answer some of these questions here. You guys like Kyler or Huntley this week? I probably go Huntley, but it's very, very tough. It's very close. I mean, Kyler does get all of his weapons back, and maybe he balls out. 327 people in the chat. Please hit that thumb up button. We only have 95 thumbs up, but we have 320 plus people in here. So please punch that thumb up. Subscribe if you're new as well. Let's hit the phone calls.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial into the show, 602-635-3664. I've been drinking this Prime. This is not a sponsor, although they can hit me up. But I've been drinking this Prime drink, and it's pretty good. It's like it's my replacement for vitamin water, which is better than drinking Coca-Cola. But vitamin water still has a lot of calories. It still has a lot of sugar. These bad boys have 20 calories and I think like 2 grams of sugar. 2 grams of sugar, 20 calories, and they taste stronger and more. They're very, very good. I'm very, very impressed by this. If anybody needs to try a low calorie drink, 20 calories. I mean, you can slam 5 of these, and it's still less than a lot less than one soda. Like, it's crazy, and they're very, very good. They're very tasty. All right, yeah, drop them likes. Zay is my flex this week. Yeah, you gotta monitor Zay. Make sure he's good to go, bro. Make sure he's good to go. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Can I get some help right quick? William, you right there, you had your shot, William, to get your question answered. I don't see more than half the questions, and I'm reading them, and there it is. That was it. That was your chance. Now it's gone. Now it's gone, William. Why is the playoffs in one of my leagues? What does that mean, Mr. TD? Are you in the playoffs in one of your leagues? Steelers, Ravens game, probably low scoring. Yeah, probably be a low scoring game. Bench 2, full PPR, Foreman, Wilson Jr., ETN, Rashad White, Pacheco, James Cook, thanks. Bench 2. Probably going to bench I'm probably going to bench, I guess, Rashad White and probably Wilson. No, yeah, Rashad White and Wilson Jr., I guess, at the moment. But that's a tough one. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
You know this. How's it going?
What's up, man?
Okay, can we do the white chalkboard?
The chalkboard? The white chalkboard. Let's do the chalkboard. I'll get the chalk out. What's up?
Okay, I got Kyler Murray, Prescott, Amari Cooper, Adams, Keenan Allen, Wilson, Swift, Jamal, McCaffrey. Yeah.
You just listing your best players last? Swift, McCaffrey. Okay. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? How is this your lineup? It's all jostled around. Okay.
Yeah. So I got 3 receivers, 2 flexes, and 1 running back as the format.
Which Wilson is this?
Jeff.
Okay. And who's your tight end?
Hawkinson.
Okay. And is it 2 QB?
No.
Okay. All right. What's the dilemma?
The lineup, what 2 running backs? Because McCaffrey's got to start.
So you start CMC, you start Swift. Those are no-brainers. You start Adams and probably Keenan Allen as your 2 wide receivers. So it's two running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex?
3 receivers, 2 flex, 1 running back.
Okay. Okay. 3 flex. Or sorry, 3 wide receivers, 2 flex, 1 running back. Okay,
Correct.
So this is your lineup. So who do you have on the bench that's competing with these guys?
Well, Jeff Wilson and Williams, Jamal Williams. Those 2 are competing, and Kyler and Prescott. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So it's easy call. Yeah. I mean, take Jeff Wilson out until he proves otherwise, and Jamal Williams is a must start. Is leading the league in rushing touchdowns not enough? You got to put him in, bro. And like I said earlier, when you have these two Detroit backs, you're not putting yourself in a box to where you're going to score with one of them and kind of shoot yourself in the foot on purpose with the other one just to make sure you get all the – like they could both produce, and they want to run the ball. They love running the ball. That's all they dream of doing is running the ball. So Jamal and Swift are must starts. Take Jeff Wilson out for the time being. I go Kyler over Dak, I suppose. That's arguable. Chat, you like Kyler or Dak? Dak or Kyler? Please vote for this man. And let's help him. This is he knows this, right? That's your name?
He knows it.
He knows
this. Yeah.
He knows this, but he's calling for advice because he doesn't know at the current moment. But normally he knows. Normally he knows this, but now he doesn't, and he needs your help. So help.
Yeah, it's a little tricky.
Help him out. All right. Anything else, bro?
Well, what do you think about Kyler going against New England?
Yeah.
And Prescott going against Houston when they love to run.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's kind of it's a toss. Like I said, it's a toss-up. It's close. I probably lean Kyler because Kyler
rushing.
Yeah, rushing. You've got, but I mean, you've also got the fact that he's had the bye week to get healthy. They got to regroup, and he gets both his weapons back. But it's very arguable. You could say Dak's safer. Kyler's higher risk, higher reward. Dak is safer. So you kind of go with what you need. I just feel like Kyler's a pretty good play this week. I mean, he's a top 5 quarterback when everything's going right, and things haven't been going right this year. But this is the first year the first game he's got like everything probably in line, full arsenal of weapons. So it feels right. It feels like a good time to throw Kyler out there, and I don't think one's gonna crush the other. So if you make a mistake, it's gonna be a small mistake. I think.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and with Pollard and Zeke both firing off, you don't really know. Even if Dallas crushes and does well, it might not be all through the air,
Yeah. So, I don't know when he's going to throw another 400-yard game.
Yeah. But trust your gut because that one's close, bro. All right, man.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Next caller, you're up.
Hey, what's going on, Smitty? My name is Jordan.
What's up, Jordan?
Hey, so I just have in my last week before the playoff, and I'm just trying to figure out if there's someone who I should be replacing at my flex. So my lineup currently is Joe Burrow at quarterback. Now you just say it's a keeper league, so some of the names might not make sense, but Joe Burrow at quarterback, T. Higgins. It's a 3 wide receiver league, so T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, Mike Williams. At running back, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift. Tight end, Dalton Schultz. And I have 2 flex. And I have Marquise Brown and Rachaad White currently.
Okay.
And then on my bench, in terms of, I guess, viable options to like flex or be in a flex position, I also have Leonard Fournette, Josh Palmer, T. Ryan, and DJ Dallas because Walker may not play. So trying to figure out if I should keep my flex the same with Rachaad White and Marquise Brown or maybe swap them out.
I mean, with Mixon back, I mean, this is your only, I mean, Lenny's okay, an okay play normally, but this is a horrible matchup, but and that goes for Rachaad White too, though. So I don't think I'm benching Lenny for White. Lenny is more of the between the tackles runner, and even though they both got 6 receptions last week, you know that could have been for a number of reasons. They feel more comfortable throwing to him, but Rachaad White is the pass catcher. Like if they've got it, like at the end of the game, he was in there, he caught the winning touchdown. So given that the Niners are so good against the run, I'm going to go with the guy that probably will catch more passes and get more targets. Palmer's okay if let's say Mike Williams is ruled out. I would say Palmer's maybe safer than both Tampa running backs. I would say P. Ryan would be my favorite if he was playing, but it seems like Mixon's in. That's your only dilemma. You're not taking Hollywood out. So Palmer if he's the number 2 wide receiver.
For sure, yeah. I usually bench him if if Mike Williams is playing and Keenan Allen is playing. But if either one of them out, I start him. But in this case, I have him bench because Mike Williams is projected to play.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's projected to play right now. He's questionable again. I mean, he seems very. We did the news on him. I want to say he was limited again, and I would say it's not trending in the direction where he's going to be out, but he's going to be questionable again. I don't know. We'll see.
Right. So in this case, just to confirm, you're saying to keep Rachaad White in over Fournette potentially.
Unless Palmer's starting. Unless Williams is out.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not. DJ Dallas isn't the guy. It'd probably be Homer. But you never know. You never know. As of right now, I would guess that.
Right.
All right, bro.
Okay. Well, thank you, man. I definitely appreciate it and enjoy the show.
Yeah, appreciate you. Later. Let me hit these super chats real quick because we got several of them in here. I think we got a $20 hauler here, or a couple of them, or at least one. Let's see here. Super chat. I'm sorry if I missed it when it came in. Super chat. We got. It looks like we got. Let me change that. I'm gonna put that up. Okay, $20 hauler from William. William on YouTube. Where's my button?
Where's your mashed potatoes?
William on YouTube, appreciate you, my guy. William on YouTube says this. He says, Smitty. Okay, so here is my question, Smitty. I have Pacheco and Pierce running back 1 and 2 right now, but also want to play Rashad or JK if he is a go. I don't think I trust JK yet, bro. I don't think I trust JK. There's just no way. And Rachaad White's got a horrible matchup. I probably would go Pacheco and Pierce over Rachaad White. I'm tempted to go White just because I love him so much, but I don't know that I'm going to go that route. If you were me, what would you do? Love you, mashed potatoes. Also, go Bills. I would roll with what you got currently. I like Rachaad White more than I like some options out there. These are not those options. I like these options better. But it's arguable. It's close. I understand your dilemma. Would anybody who does anybody disagree? Who would start Rachaad White over Pierce? Because you're starting Pacheco. So really it's Pierce or Rachaad White, and I think Pierce is safer. Assuming he's healthy and good to go and everything. So let's vote on that one. White's not horrible because he catches passes. I could see him being more active than, let's say, the horrible call I had on Jeff Wilson last week. Pick one PPR: Fournette versus San Francisco, Pierce at Dallas, or Singletary versus the Jets. Also tough. White over Pierce. I mean, Dallas is no easy task either, but they're a little bit easier. Full PPR, White. Still got a lot of White votes, man. Rachaad White still getting a lot of the votes. Majority of everybody saying Rachaad White. Majority of everybody saying Rachaad White still. I mean, it's nice that he catches passes, and the fact that Rachaad White caught that touchdown, that winning touchdown grab, it goes to show that that's who they trust. It's tough, man. Pierce is tough to trust, though. You know. Houston is a mess, says Fantasy Dad. It's true. It's true. I mean, you guys are almost flipping me. I'll tell you that. I'm real close on it. So, I would say trust the chat. Let's get William's question back up here real quick. I would say trust the chat, William. The chat is saying they go Rachaad White, and it's pretty overwhelming. They're swaying me. So if I were you, I would go with the majority of what the chat's saying. This chat is a smart chat. They're an amazing group. Let's go Rachaad White. Let's go Rachaad White. Mr. Frost with a $5 hauler. Pick one. Fournette, San Francisco, Pierce, Singletary. What did Singletary, what's his status? What is up with Singletary? 51 yards and a touchdown. 13 carries. Yeah, he still got it. He didn't get the receiving work because that's going to James Cook. The targets are going to James Cook. But he's still getting the rushing touchdowns. He's still getting 10 plus 13 carries a game at least. I'd go Singletary. None of these are great options this week, but I'd probably go Singletary, but that's really, really close too. Thank you, Mr. Frost. Appreciate you, my guy. Corey with a super chat. Need a flex. Jamal Williams, DP, J, Thielen, Rachaad White. You got to go Jamal Williams. What'd he do to you? He's leading the league in rushing touchdowns. Is he not? I mean, do I think T-Law plays? I do think T-Law plays. I think he'll be safe there. Jamal Williams. You can't sit Jamal Williams. He's on fire. Pick two running backs, one flex. Jamal, Swift, Ramondre, Garrett Wilson, and Rachaad White. Okay, you can't sit Garrett Wilson. You can't really sit Jamal, but how do you choose? You can't sit Garrett Wilson. This is insane. Pick two running backs and one flex. Okay, so you're going to go Swift. Does he go Swift and Jamal or Swift and Ramondre? And then Garrett Wilson is his flex. Two running backs, one flex. Who would go Jamal and Swift, or who would go Swift and Ramondre? Let's drop a vote for Mr. Frost. Ron Navy says they were saying that Zay Jones on the NFL Network must be thinking he's okay. They were saying play Zay Jones. Okay. So Zay's trending in the right direction. Thank you, Sick Nasty, Problem Bless, Chris, for all your super chats up above. Appreciate you, William, dropping that. If I could, again, get you guys to vote on this one right here. Jamal and Swift, or are you going to go Jamal or Swift and Ramondre? Stevenson, Swift, Swift and Ramondre. Stevenson, Jamal, Swift and Ramondre. Stevenson, Swift. It's so tough. The momentum's in Swift's direction, though. You know, like Jamal. It's so hard to bet against Jamal, though. He keeps doing it, but I think the fact that you had the transition happen between the two last week where DeAndre got more carries and more touches than Jamal, that if you have to pick between those two, you got to go Swift. But the question is it safer to go Jamal over Ramondre to ensure that you don't get screwed out at I'm going to probably lean. Let me just look at something real quick. I just want to look at Stevenson. The thing that concerns me with Stevenson is his last 2 games, he barely got 10 carries. But he got 10 targets and 8 targets in week number 12 and 13. The targets are massive. His reception totals the last 6 games, 8, 7, 3, 6, 9, 6. I mean, unbelievable. He's safe. I go Ramondre and Swift. I hate putting Jamal Williams on the bench. You could go all 3 RBs if you wanted, but how do you sit Garrett Wilson? You can't sit Garrett Wilson. He's on fire. You got to start Garrett Wilson. Get him in there. But trust your gut on Jamal and Ramondre. It's close because of the touchdown production that Jamal's had all year long. He's proven it. ETN or Hollywood Brown in the flex PPR. I'm going to go ETN. But that's a really arguable one because ETN hasn't showed up for 2 weeks. So I get why you would be concerned about this decision, but I couldn't sit ETN. Give me ETN. He played on 88% of the snaps last week, so you got to roll him out there. Robert dropping a $20 wad.
Let's go, mashed potatoes.
Robert, yep, my dude. Robert dropping a $20 holler, says, Smitty, Jacoby Myers is questionable. Should I put in Hollins in his place tomorrow if he plays tomorrow night? Should I use Jeff Wilson? Jeff pulled a dud last week, or should I get Homer for Walker? I have JT on a bye. Of the wide receivers, if this is a separate question, I would probably go. Let me check Myers real quick. Let me check Jacoby. It's a tough one, though. He doesn't have any kind of injury status right now. His last couple games have been underwhelming. He hasn't scored a touchdown since week 8. His targets are okay. He's 50, 60. He's probably going to get you, on average, he's going to get you 40. Looks like 45 yards. This is his current average, and probably a 20% chance of a touchdown. Let's look at Hollins real quick. Mac Hollins I like a lot, but he could literally go from doing nothing to being, he seems about the same. These guys are playing about the same. The targets have been unreal though for Mac. 9-5, 9-6. Same about the same amount of touchdowns per start recently. About the same amount of yards per start. They're really close, man. I'd probably go. Let's hit the chat on this one again too. This is really close. Who likes Mac Hollins? They're averaging about the exact same. Mac Hollins or Jacoby Myers? Who are we going with? I kind of like Mac Hollins a little bit more. Because I think the Raiders are going to own the Rams. But what if they get up and they just run? There's that too. We got one vote for Hollins from Blake. Another Hollins. Another Hollins from Swavey. Mac Hollins, another Hollins vote. Yeah, majority Hollins votes. Okay, so let's hit this other question. Trust your gut on that one, though. Should I use Jeff Wilson or should I go get Homer? I would trust... Gosh. We just don't know if Homer's going to be the majority, the majority ball carrier, bro. That's the only thing I'm worried about, I'd probably go with Jeff Wilson. I think they run the ball a lot on this one. Even if Mostert gets a chunk of work, I think Jeff Wilson's got a real strong shot at a touchdown. The Niners didn't run at all. It wasn't that they got shut down. They just didn't even try to run the ball. The game script got away from them. They were just throwing the ball. I think Jeff Wilson, they acquired him for a reason. And there's no reason to think he won't have at least half the work. I'd probably go with Jeff Wilson. If we get like an indication that Homer's starting and he's the only option for the Seahawks against the Panthers and they're at home in Seattle, then you might want to switch it. Hit me back, Robert, on this one if it looks like Homer's going to be the lone starter. We have clear indication he's playing because he was injured last week. He had an illness. There's DJ Dallas talk, who's also hurt. His entire running back room is hurt. Hit me back if we have a clear indication Homer's the guy, and then we'll attack it. Okay, we'll attack it again. But I'm gonna go with Jeff Wilson for the moment. But thank you for your $20 hauler. You are the man. Let's send him to the moon.
To the moon.
Robert to the moon. Appreciate you, Robert. Playoff Rondell Moore or Hollins. I'd probably go Hollins with all the wide receivers back healthy in Arizona. I don't know where Rondell's going to fit in. Give me Hollins. Hollins has been playing great. Let's hit the phone lines one more time.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We're going to only take a few more phone calls. Your boy Smitty's not going to go super long tonight. I might come back later this evening to make up for it, so we'll see. But appreciate Robert. Appreciate Sick Nasty. Appreciate Robert. Appreciate TJ. William on YouTube. These are all super chatters. Mr. Frost. Corey. Mr. Frost. Ron Navy. Sick Nasty. Problem Bless. Chris Smith. Ron Navy. Thomas and Ron Navy again. Appreciate all of you guys that super chatted. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. I'm taking 2 callers. You're one of them. It's your lucky day, pal.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up? Who's this?
Hey, it's Laundry Matt.
What Laundry Matt? What's up, Laundry?
What's up?
What can I do for you, Laundry?
Hey, so I just have a couple handcuffed running backs. My running backs, Chubb and Etienne, are kind of my worries for the playoffs, just with Deshaun Watson and Etienne just the past couple weeks. I'm not really worried, but I have a couple high upside like running back handcuffs, and I'm just wondering which one you would like more on your roster. Just considering their situations. So if I can name a couple and just tell me which one you like.
Yeah, go ahead, Laundry.
All right. So there's P. Ryan. Someone just dropped Mostert. Jerick McKinnon, Jordan Mason, and Dontrell Hilliard. And there's also J.K. Dobbins. Just looking for like a high upside guy.
I mean,
like if there's an injury.
I think these two are probably the most. I mean, Mostert's very attractive as well if he ends up becoming a focal point going forward. But I do think you're probably best off going with the Mason and J.K. because there's. Can you trade it all?
No.
Okay. I don't know how much I believe in J.K. at all, but as a waiver ad, as a running back, he's not bad. P. Ryan's going back to the bench, but he's very good if you own Mixon, and he's also still a good grab if you didn't have these other options here. Mostert looks like he may or may not be back in good graces with Miami Mike McDaniel. We'll see. McKinnon not steady enough for now. Mason's one injury away from being a high-end running back too. You got to go Jordan Mason with one of these, and then JK's apparently rising back up, so I grab him. But it's not something I'm like, super excited about with JK, but of these options, I would say Mason's number one for me just because of the pure upside. If you're looking at just like home run, you don't care if it is usable right now. Mason's the guy you probably want to hold. He's got that power.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Just like a possible home run late in the season, and if it doesn't work out, it's fine. But just was wondering your thoughts.
Yeah. All right, bro.
Thank you so much, Smitty.
Thanks, Laundry. See you later. Next up is David. David, what can I do for you?
Smitty, how's it going?
What's up, my guy?
I'm all right. So I'm in a little predicament here. So I need to drop one of my quarterbacks. I got Justin Fields, I got Tua, and I got Kyler Murray.
Why do you got to drop one of them?
I'm glad you asked. So I got Cole Kmet in my tight end, and I need another tight end. I don't even know if there's any tight ends that are really worth it on the waiver, and I already clinched the playoffs, so I could go in with no tight end.
So who's your tight end currently?
Cole Kmet.
But he's been on IR, you said, right? Or not on IR. Who's on
No,
IR?
He's on bye.
He's on. But who do you have?
Yeah,
Okay, so you're not moving somebody from IR. I'm sorry. I thought you said you're moving somebody from
No,
IR.
no.
So let me just get the whole picture here. So who was in your tight end spot before you had to make this move?
Kmet.
So why do you have to drop somebody then? Is what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand.
So let me see. So Cole Kmet's on the bye, so I need another tight end.
Oh, just pick up for this week. For this week, okay. I thought you meant long term for Cole Kmet. Okay, I got you. Here's the problem, bro. There's got to be someone else in your roster you can drop, because you leave one of these guys out there for somebody. That's like, I don't know if that's more dangerous than anything else. Like giving somebody a Kyler, a Fields, or a Tua. I don't like that idea.
I know, especially when the guy that just lost, Lamar Jackson, is out there looking for a quarterback. Or he grabbed Goff, but I know he just grabbed whatever he could. But
yeah, but to give these up is more dangerous for you. I figure.
So I could play without the tight end. The projections are pretty much even without my tight end. And I'm already in the playoffs.
Yeah, if you lose, what happens?
I just go to a lower seed.
Is Fant available? Fant's not bad. He's usually available, and everyone's like, "There's no one left at tight end," and Fant's there. Like, Fant's been producing.
There's Higbee, Ingram, Knox, Moreau, Henry. Yeah, Fant's on there. Conklin, Okonkwo. There's some all right on there.
Fant's been doing well. Fant's has been, doing decent at least. He's worth grabbing. I'd maybe consider.
Or I could drop Kmet.
Yeah, I'd probably just swap Kmet out for Fant and then try and do it again next week. Or if you really believe it's not going to hurt you much, then you go without a tight end. You try and win, and if it messes your seating up really badly, then I don't want you to lose. But I think Fant and Kmet aren't that far off, and then if you could swap them back, maybe nobody wants to pick up Kmet walking in. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what your league's thinking. So maybe no one.
I've been doing that. So I went from Pitts to Hurts to Knox to Kmet. I've been every week has been pretty much streaming the tight end. Been doing good with doing it, so I could do it again. All right, drop Kmet, pick up Fant. Next week, drop Fant, pick up whoever.
Yeah, I would do that. Don't drop these quarterbacks. That's not a good move. All right, bro.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, that's about it then. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Later.
All right.
All right. Hang tight for me 1 second. 315 of you in here, only 140 thumbs up. Punch that thumb up button. 1 sec. All right, sorry about that. Komet is streaming tight end. Komet's good. With Fields, and Fields is in there. I mean, you can't drop one of that guy's options. You can't drop Fields. You can't drop Tua. You can't put Kyler on waivers. So no way I'm making that move. Problem. Stream defense. Raiders, Bengals, Cardinals, or the Patriots. Probably go Raiders, man, against the Rams Thursday Night Football. Seems like the most logical move to me. They don't have any offense. They force everything. Much safer call, I think, than some of those options for me for this week. If you're streaming, I mean, that I like the Patriots, but I don't know that they're going to outscore the Raiders. I think the Raiders outscore them this week. So, thank you for the super chat problem. Appreciate you. Let me see if I can hit any of the questions in the chat real quick. I'm going to call it a short night, and I'm going to be back. So hang tight. This one's from Johnny 2K. Njoku or Fant? Fant for right now. Njoku can't stay healthy. Is he even playing? This week? I mean, the guy just can't stay healthy. Even if he plays, it's like he was limited in practice Wednesday. He suffered a knee injury in the Browns Week 12 win over the... if active, he should be... I don't know. I guess if you hear that he's good to go and he's starting, I go Njoku. I guess. But if there's any question mark at all, hold 2, Carter, Knight, AJ Dillon. I think you probably let Carter go, even though he's back and healthy. I just like Knight more. And Njoku is in this week. Not yet, Sean. The reports are he's limited, so we don't know. We don't know for sure. Fant or Bellinger? Probably Fant. Fant's been playing well. What are your thoughts on Swift? I love Swift this week, bro. Get him in your lineup. Cook or Bam? Probably go Cook safer. Bam's got a little bit more upside, but a tad more risk given the fact that Carter's back. Would pick up Taysom Hill for Mostert. I don't mind that if you need a tight end. And I always talk about Taysom Hill being a league winner if things go the right way for him. So you trade Andrews for an improvement at wide receiver, running back. Okay, last caller. You're live in the Fantasy Football Show. You're the last caller. Congratulations.
Oh, what up, Smitty?
What's up?
I got a question for you. It's Dynasty. What do you think about Javonte Williams?
Javonte Williams? That's a really good question, and we got to kind of play that by ear in the offseason. I wish I had an answer right now. I would say that I'm hopeful, but I'm definitely going to pause, and I'm not going to just rush straight in and assume that, if Hackett's gone and the situation changes a little bit, I'm gonna be excited about it. But he had a little bit more of a gruesome injury than Breece Hall had, and as long as he recovers quick and they say he looks fine and he's ahead of schedule and he's not gonna walk in like Barkley walked in, where it's like we don't know what's going on, he's barely ready. I could get excited for him in Dynasty. If I had to make like a prediction, I'd maybe consider trading out of them if somebody's willing to overpay, but I'm also not going to sell them cheap. So I'm just in between, because his first year back could be a rough one. It may not be, depending on how good he looks early on, but it could be a rough first year back like Barkley's was. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how his rehab goes. I have a little bit more positive vibes about Breece Hall's recovery, and I think we're going to hear that he's looking really good, really fast, but we'll see. I mean, setbacks could happen with anybody. Anybody's knee could respond differently. The surgery could have been botched or whatever. Like, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
I'm not putting him in the top 5. Just locked and loaded without blindly. He's got to earn that, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. And with Russ, yeah, okay.
Like, would I rather have the 1.1? Absolutely. The rookie pick. I'd rather have Bijan Robinson by a mile, and that sucks to say, but it is what it is. It's fantasy football. It's a business in a sense to us, right? We treat it like that, and Bijan Robinson's like a top. I would say you could make an argument that Bijan Robinson is the number 1 overall player in Dynasty. That's bold.
Yeah.
I don't really care. It is what it is. At this point, with Kenneth Walker getting hurt and not knowing how he's going to finish, that maybe opens the door to Bijan being the 1.1 overall startup Dynasty fantasy football player. It sucks because Javonte was going to be a top 5 running back. I don't care what anybody says to me. He was going to be a top 5 running back.
Yep.
All right, broski. Anything else?
All right. Would you rather have him or Pierce? Sorry, one more.
Him or Pierce?
I'd
rather have Javonte over Pierce, but I mean, who wants Pierce right now in redraft? You know what I mean? I like Pierce a lot, but that's a pretty easy call.
Okay.
All right, bro.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Travis says trade Rashad, Olave, Jamison, Williams for Andrews, B. Rob, and Hollywood. Rashad, Olave, Jamison for Andrews, B. Rob, Hollywood. Rashad for, trade Rashad for Andrews straight up. Keep Olave. Yeah, I like that. Rashad for Andrews. I hate trading Rashad White, but for Andrews, I would do it for the positional advantage and the fact that even if Rashad becomes who we think he is next year and he continues to play well, he's become who we thought he'd become, but if he maintains that value, that's still equivalent to Andrews. And in your situation where you're not using him, you beef up your lineup, and I still feel very confident about Andrews moving forward. So Andrews is a no-brainer. Thank you, Johnny 2K, with the Fant Njoku question. If Njoku's starting and you know that for certain, I guess I'd go to Njoku. But for right now, I'd lean Fant until we know he's healthy and out there and he's not limited or whatever. Mike White, Geno, or Watson this week. Probably going to go with Mike. Geno's safest. Geno's safest. Mike White's a little higher risky play, higher reward. I'm staying away from Watson, but I guess I would go. I guess I would go Geno for safety, but I like Mike White a lot. Swift is about to blow up. That's nothing but facts right there. Kyler with Hollywood or Geno. I'd probably say. The stack shouldn't matter too much. It doesn't really ultimately mean anything. It's nice and fun to watch, but I'd probably say Geno's safer, Kyler's higher risk, higher reward. So I wish there was an answer with some of these, but there aren't. They're very close. They're coin toss calls, and you got to weigh it out. Are you going up against a team where you need something to happen? Then go Kyler. If you want steady Eddie, you think you could win this matchup without getting crazy, Geno's safe. The problem with Swift is that he's back to limited. He's not back to limited. It's a maintenance day, Jonathan. He's not injured right now. He's off the injury report, in terms of they're just taking a maintenance day. It's not even an injury. But I know a lot of people will assume that, so thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm going to jump for now, but I'm going to be back probably later. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate you. Ronnie Ocho, appreciate you with the question. Johnny 2K, Problem Bless, Sick Nasty, Robert, TJ, William on YouTube, Mr. Frost, Corey, Mr. Frost, Ron Navy, Sick Nasty, Problem Bless, Chris Smith, Ron Navy, Thomas, and Ron Navy. Appreciate you all dropping those super chats. I'll see you later. Appreciate you all. You guys rock. I work for you. See you either tonight or tomorrow. Probably tonight. I'm not sure yet. TMT dropping a super chat here. Last week before playoffs, stay strong, not drinking those Mexican Coca-Colas. Smitty, you got this. I haven't had one in like a week and a half, man. Trimming down. It's trimming down season. I've got how many days left? How many days left? What is it? Let's see here. I've got 17 days, 5 hours, 23 minutes, and 32 seconds to get. I already look like I'm thinned down a little bit, I think. I mean, that was a funny shot. I look a little more bloated, like a balloon. But your boy Smitty's trimming. We're trimming down. We're doing it live. I challenge all you. You got 17 days. Pick a goal, and we'll do it together. Any goal you want. Lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, gain muscle, drink more water, read a book, whatever. You have 17 days. Think of something. Next show, commit to it in the live chat. Drop it in so everybody, or drop it in now so everybody can see you commit to it. 17 days. What do you want to accomplish? I'm getting ripped. Later, Derek Lincoln. Appreciate you. BW, see you later, pal. Thanks, Travis. Thank you, Mitch. Sick Nasty, Casey, Vamp, Mr. TD. Vamp in the building.
The tripod, also likened to pyramids in ancient Egypt, are constructed using Burrow or Hertz, Chase or a JB Hull or Walker.
The stack above all stacks. It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.